हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू एचआरआई एजुकेशन। दोस्तों, कैसे हैं आप लोग? आई होप कि आप बहुत ही अच्छे होंगे और आपकी तैयारी भी बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से चल रहा होगा आने वाले एग्जाम के लिए। तो दोस्तों, आपकी तैयारी को बूस्ट करने के लिए मैं ये लेबर लॉ का 500 एमसीक्यू सीरीज चला रहा हूँ। तो इस सीरीज में 500 से भी ज़्यादा क्वेश्चंस आपको प्रोवाइड किए जाएंगे। जितने भी एक्ट्स आपका लेबर लॉज हैं आपका नेट का सिलेबस में, वो सारे लेबर लॉज का 500 से भी ज़्यादा एमसीक्यूज दिया जाएगा इस सीरीज़ में। तो ये उस सीरीज़ का 5वां वीडियो है। मैं पहले से ही फैक्ट्रीज एक्ट कवर कर चुका हूँ, तो ये इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट्स एक्ट का फाइनल वीडियो इस लेक्चर में आपका दिया जाएगा। इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट्स एक्ट का पार्ट 3 का एमसीक्यू, जो कि आपका है लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ द इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट्स एक्ट। तो इस इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट्स एक्ट का अगर फर्स्ट 2 पार्ट आपने नहीं देखे हो तो यहाँ पे मैं लिंक प्रोवाइड कर दूंगा कार्ड में, और इस वीडियो के एंड में भी आपका उस फर्स्ट 2 पार्ट का लिंक आपको दिया जाएगा। तो दोस्तों, वीडियो को शुरू करने से पहले आप मुझसे जुड़ सकते हैं। मेरा नाम है एसआर साहू और ये है मेरा फेसबुक पेज, ये ट्विटर हैंडल और ये टेलीग्राम ग्रुप का आईडी। टेलीग्राम अगर आप डाउनलोड नहीं किए हो तो ज़रूर डाउनलोड कीजिए और उसमें सर्च करिए HRIQ एजुकेशन, और इस ग्रुप को आप ज्वाइन कीजिए। यहाँ पे मैं डेली यहाँ पे MCQs प्रोवाइड करता हूँ। हालांकि अभी बंद है, पर MCQ कुछ दिनों के बाद ही MCQs स्टार्ट हो जाएगा, जो कि आपका एग्जाम लेवल का MCQ यहाँ पे क्विज प्रोवाइड किया जाता है, और साथ ही साथ वीडियो की नोटिफिकेशन इन तीनों प्लेटफॉर्म पे आप पा सकते हैं। तो वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं। अगर आप ये सारे क्वेश्चंस का PDF पाना चाहते हैं, ये जो भी जितने भी लेबर लॉस का क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे, सारे लेबर लॉस का क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे कवर किया जाएगा, वो सारे क्वेश्चंस का PDF आपको मिल जाएगा कुछ दिनों के बाद। मैं उसका लिंक प्रोवाइड कर दूंगा एक पेमेंट गेटवे के थ्रू, और स्टूडेंट फ्रेंडली प्राइस उसका रहेगा। तो आप वो सारे लेबर लॉस का PDF वहाँ से डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। कुछ दिनों के बाद उसको प्रोवाइड किया जाएगा। वंस ऑल दिस प्रोसेस गेट्स कंप्लीटेड, all these videos gets completed, the PDF will be provided. Okay, so the first question of today's lecture is adjudication of any industrial dispute relating to any matter can be referred to the industrial tribunal if it is provided in the second schedule. So you have to read out the options, because if I read out the options, then the video will get lengthy and you will lose your time. Okay, so read out the options and I will say the answer. So the answer to this question is option C, second or third schedule of the act. So there are some exceptions also. You have to read the provisions to find out the exceptions. Okay, so the next question is the presiding officer of a tribunal is appointed by. So who appoints the presiding officer among these? The correct answer here will be option C is the correct answer here. Appropriate government appoints the presiding officer of a tribunal. Okay, so the next question, it is given about the qualifying criteria of a presiding officer. Which of the following can be considered as the qualifying criteria for a presiding officer of a tribunal? So if you read out the options, all the 3 options are correct. So option D is the correct answer here. Then the next question is adjudication of industrial disputes which involve questions of national importance. So here national importance word itself defines it will be referred to the national tribunal. Please read out all the questions, because sometimes questions becomes tricky. Adjudication of industrial disputes which involve questions of national importance or are affecting industries in more than one state. You may not find the term national importance in some questions. They may frame just the industries in more than one state. So this can be also referred to the national tribunal. So the next question, the national tribunal consists of dash number of persons. So how many persons are there in the national tribunal? The correct answer is option A, 1. National tribunal consists of only 1 person, and that 1 person is the presiding officer there. Then the next question, which of the following is the qualification to become the presiding officer of a national tribunal? So read out the options here. The correct answer will be option A. Only the former or current judge of a high court can be the presiding officer of a national tribunal. National tribunal consists of only 1 person. Then the next question is question number 57. What is the retiring age of a presiding officer of a labor court, tribunal और national tribunal? तो लेबर कोर्ट, ट्रिब्यूनल और नेशनल ट्रिब्यूनल, इन तीनों जगह पे जो प्रिजाइडिंग ऑफिसर्स होते हैं उनका रिटायरिंग एज कितना है? 60, 58, 62, 65. So what will be the answer here? The answer is option D, 65 years. Then the next question, national tribunal is constituted by. So who constitutes the national tribunal? National tribunal is always constituted by the central government, but industrial tribunal is constituted by the appropriate government. So here the answer will be option B. Then the 59th question, where the industrial dispute is concerned with an individual workman, the adjudication authority has to submit its award within how many days? So these are the options, and the correct answer will be, when it is concerned with the individual workman, the authority has to submit its award within 3 months. Option C is the correct answer here. Then the next question, who can be considered as an arbitrator? So these are the options here. What is the answer here? All of the above will be the correct answer, because a presiding officer of a labor court, presiding officer of an industrial tribunal, and also the same for the national tribunal can be considered as an arbitrator. Okay. Then the 61st question, a copy of the arbitration agreement must be published by the appropriate government in official gazette within dash days from its receipt. So when it is received, it must be published in the official gazette within 1 month. Okay. Then the next question, an arbitration or adjudication award comes into force on the expiry of dash days from the date of its publication by the appropriate government. So here the correct answer will be option A, 30 days. Then the next question, the appropriate government must make an order. The appropriate government may make an order to reject or modify the award within how many days of its publication? So appropriate government may reject or may modify the award. It depends upon that, but it has to make an order within, option C is the answer, within 90 days of its publication. Okay. Then the next question is 64th question. When an award is kept before the state legislature or parliament, it is enforceable on the expiry of dash days from the date on which it was so laid. So these are the options. When it is laid before the state legislature or the parliament, it is enforceable on the expiry of 15 days from the date on which it was so laid. So option A is the correct answer here. Then the next question, what is the ordinary period for operation of an award? तो अवार्ड कितने दिन के लिए ऑर्डिनरली ऑपरेट किया जाता है? अवार्ड को ऑर्डिनरली 1 साल के लिए ये ऑपरेट में रहता है. 6 महीने के अंदर इसका मॉडिफिकेशन नहीं हो सकता, पर 1 साल के लिए ऑर्डिनरली ये ऑपरेटेड रहता है. पर इसका जो मैक्सिमम ऑपरेशन पीरियड, तो ये कितने दिन के लिए एक्सटेंड किया जा सकता है? फ्रॉम 1 ईयर टू इट इज़ 3 years. So option B is the correct answer here. The maximum time period for operation of an award is 3 years, because it can be extendable to 3 years. Then the next question, no strike is allowed during. So these are the options. कब यहाँ पे strike allow नहीं किया जा सकता? Read out the options, and all of the above options are correct here. So option D is the correct answer. All of the above are correct. The provisions of layoff can be applied to any organization having dash number of employees. So this can be applicable to any organization having, option C is the answer, 50 or more number of employees. Then the next question, what is the layoff compensation of any workman who completed 1 year of continuous service? Any workman who completed 1 year of continuous service, the layoff compensation will be here. Read out the options. The correct answer will be option C, 50% of basic wages and dearness allowance. Okay. Then the next question, the layoff compensation given for a maximum period of how many days? For a maximum period of 45 days, because it is given for the first 45 days of the layoff. Then the next question, question number 71. What is the legal notice period before retrenching any workman? If you have to retrench any workman, a 1 month notice period is to be given to them. Okay. So option A is the correct answer here. Then the next question, an employer intending to close down an undertaking is required to serve a notice of how many days before the intended closure. तो क्लोजर से पहले कितने दिन का नोटिस यहाँ पे देना चाहिए? तो यहाँ पे 60 दिन के नोटिस देना चाहिए. तो ऑप्शन बी यहाँ पे करेक्ट आंसर हो गया. यू हैव टू गिव द नोटिस ऑफ 60 days. Then the next question, any workers employed below ground in a mine is said to be in continuous service. So you have to point out that whether it is given above the ground or below the ground. If he or she has worked for how many days in the preceding 12 months. So these are the options. For below the ground level, it is 190 days will be the correct answer here. Option A is the correct answer. Okay, you have to see whether he is recruited in mine or not. If any worker is said to be in continuous service while he or she has been employed other than in a mine. Okay, if he or she has been employed other than in a mine, the required period is, the required days for continuous service is 240 days. So option C is the correct answer. 240 days in the preceding 12 months. Then the next question, which schedule of the Industrial Disputes Act deals with conditions of service? Conditions for service for change of which notice is given. The change of notice is given in 4th schedule. Okay, the first schedule tells about the public utility services. Okay, the second schedule tells about matters within the jurisdiction of labor courts. Then the third schedule tells about the matters within the jurisdiction of industrial tribunal. Then the fourth schedule is this, and the fifth schedule tells about the unfair labor practices. Okay, so the next question, a protected workman is. Read out the options carefully and try to find out the answers here. So you can find, if you read the provisions correctly, then you can find option A and option B is the correct answer here. So protected workman is given in which section? सेक्शन 33 में आपको प्रोटेक्टेड वर्कमैन मिल जाएगा. तो इस क्वेश्चन का आंसर आपका होगा ऑप्शन सी, बोथ ए एंड बी. देन द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, इन एवरी एस्टेब्लिशमेंट द नंबर ऑफ प्रोटेक्टेड वर्कमैन इज टू बी %% ऑफ द टोटल वर्कमैन एम्प्लॉयड देयर. तो कितना परसेंट चाहिए मिनिमम? यहाँ पे 1% चाहिए, तो ऑप्शन ए यहाँ पे करेक्ट आंसर. सो हियर द लास्ट क्वेश्चन ऑफ द इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट्स एक्ट. It is also related to the protected workmen. The minimum and maximum number of protected workmen in any industry is, so the minimum is 5 and the maximum is 100. So option B is the correct answer here. So friends, आपको कैसा लगा ये वीडियो? आई होप कि आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा और इन्फॉर्मेटिव लगा. और ऐसा ही वीडियो पाने के लिए इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए और दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए. तो दोस्तों, आज के लिए इतना ही. जय हिंद, जय भारत.